Namaste. 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 We have just elected the 44th President of the United States of America. When Senator Barack Obama becomes our President, he will be the 44th President of the United States of America. And this is the power of 22, and this is the number that represents rebuilding and recreating, just as we talked about last week. So just for a moment, what I would ask us all to do is to just be in gratitude. I want you to know that each and every one of you who are light workers, and each and every one of you are indeed light workers. Every time that you have felt an urge to go someplace, to learn something, to be stewards of the land, to feed the poor, to read a book, to ponder, to reflect, to pray, and to meditate. Every time you felt the urge to look up at the sky and greet the angels and the holy ones and the masters and all of the star beings. Every time that you honored Mother Earth, and perhaps you sat around fires drumming, perhaps you saged, perhaps you chanted, perhaps you just stared at a flame and held the consciousness of light. Whatever, whenever, or wherever you were guided to go in the last 10 years or so, you and I and all the other light workers have become matrix workers. We created a matrix around Mother Earth with masters and with our holy ones to create somewhat of what I like to call an elevator, to elevate us to a point where we, the people of the United States of America, were able to now engage in a chrysalis gridwork, a Christ consciousness gridwork, a oneness gridwork, to allow another being from another planetary system to be promoted as our 44th President of the United States of America. Around the world, people were in joy and laughter and in tears. If indeed you watched the elections, and if indeed you watched President Obama speak, that you are also one of those beings that are now involved and connected in the one heart, one mind, and one soul revolution. The revolting does not happen on the outside. It is not an outside revolution. It is an inner revolution to evolve and move beyond the petty differences. It is also to move beyond just using the words tolerance. It is also moving beyond the words to welcome, to celebrate, and understand our differences. To go beyond those three things and many, many more means that we are now entering the deep throne of oneness. And up the steps we shall climb. At this time we are being guided by a host of beings of light from planetary stars that we not know of to help this 44th President of the United States and to help all of us, because the energy of 44 not only reigns and is with him, but when you just simply note that this is the 44th President of the United States, it is a resonating frequency that allows all of us to know that we who are able to live here on this planet at this time is beginning the process of rebuilding and recreating, just like we talked about last week. This is an exciting time, so what I would ask you to do is once again remember that the three excuses that people use are the three most devastating things that people use upon our planet to not move through this gateway is indeed excuses, is indeed this procrastination, and is indeed the blame shame game, the victim consciousness. Let us strike when the iron's hot, and the iron's hot with such a beautiful, glorious glow. Let us use this internal and eternal fire that has now been lit in the hearts of millions and millions and millions of people around the world. When we have our brothers and sisters in Japan and China, Australia, Germany, France, England, when we have our brothers and sisters in Africa, when we have our brothers and sisters in Canada and Mexico and all around the world celebrating because President Barack Obama became our elected soon-to-be president, then we know, my dearest beloved beings of light, that the election did indeed open a gateway, and we are in the month of November, and we are heading towards 11/11, November 11. November 11, according to the shamanic energy, says this is the day to gather with your friends, to gather with your families, to gather with your neighbors, gather with your holy community, your spiritual communities. And this is the time on 11/11 to write upon a piece of paper or sit in front of a flame and let your old procrastinations, your excuses, your self-sabotaging behavior, burn it away. Allow it to dissolve so you and I and all of us around the world can walk through the gateway on 11/11 to reestablish and rebuild the new foundation of love and peace and hope and harmony.